So, YouTube family, Kevin Stefanski proved my point with this number 2 depth chart list that he clearly does not care about Shedeur Sanders.
Decided if Shedeur is going to be your number 2 active quarterback for this weekend yet?
Well, first I'd tell you is the Joe trade took us by surprise. That was not something that we saw coming. You know, they called us and it happened very fast and happened not too long ago. So still working through all roster type of things. I always have to be mindful of our players and our players' development, and I want to make sure that I'm always doing what's best for our players and, of course, our team. But with young players, I'm always thinking about last week making the change to Dillon. You have to think long and hard about that because these are young players that you're so invested in their development. So I'll let the week play out, and make a decision later on that.
Decided.
So he basically, in a nutshell, agreed with DJ BlessOne that it wasn't his decision to trade Joe Flacco. I told you guys this. I need you guys to start paying attention to my videos. If I have to dress more professional, be more profound for you guys to pay attention and adhere to what I'm saying, well, it behooves you, those who are staunch supporters of everything that's going on, me, Shedeur, the Cleveland Browns, the NFL, sports in general. Pay attention because this video is going to explain in details what's really going on with the number 2 position. But like Coach Prime once upon a time ago said at Jackson State, give me my theme song.
I've been broke so many times, I don't know what to believe. Mama say it's my fault, I wear my heart on my sleeve. Niggas bless up on my
This has to be serious. So what's good, family? It's your boy DJ BlessOne back with another Real Talk commentary. And today we got to break down what's really going on in Cleveland. The Shedeur Sanders situation just hit another level of disrespect. After the Joe Flacco trade, the writing is on the wall. Head coach Kevin Stefanski clearly does not believe in Shedeur Sanders. Now, let's be real. How do you make your own drafted quarterback, whether it's the 1st round or the 5th round? You invested in this guy. So how do you make your own drafted quarterback wait for the number 2 spot when the only other QB that's left is the leprechaun man himself, Dillon Gabriel? That tells you everything you need to know about this coach, Kevin Stefanski. Now, there's been a lot of things going on, and Shedeur, he responded to the number 2 quarterback position as well.
Nah, I'm in a great mental space overall. So I would say you tend to get a little bit more excited, you know, when you see a light at the end of the tunnel, for sure. So my job at first was, you know, to prepare the defense, and I think I did a pretty good job. Nah, but they got Myles Garrett and everybody over there, so, you know. But anyways, I did a pretty good job, you know, and whatever my role is here, like I'm thankful and I'm happy just to do that. Nah.
Listen, the reason why Shedeur Sanders, that is, uttered the statements, I'm happy whatever my roles are, that's still a slight he's throwing at them because we all know the Cleveland Browns don't really regard Shedeur Sanders in a high value. Well, Jimmy Haslam does, but not for football purposes. It's particularly for business advantageous moments and situations, but we already got into that. We got into his $600 million robbery, scamming, a fiasco towards the Cleveland residents, the tax-paying residents, because a lot of you gullible Cleveland fanatics, let's just be real, many of you don't pay taxes. It's obviously. So this is why you're not oblivious to what Jimmy Haslam is doing. You don't care about him paying Ohio politicians to get rid of you, because look at the spotlight that's in there right now. This man literally declined to name Shedeur the number 2 quarterback. I've never seen a guy had to wait for the number 2 position. Literally, you just pick a cat in a hat and name anybody because it's not prevalence or relevant such as your number 1 guy right now, which is Dillon Gabriel. So if you're confident with Dillon Gabriel, why wouldn't you put Shedeur as the number 2 quarterback just to say, hey, man, we're prepared, we're ready, and we're so ready that Shedeur can actually develop. But look, by him telling you guys he's going to make his decision later, even if Shedeur Sanders is named as the quarterback number 2, we all know why he's doing this. They don't favor Shedeur. They favor Zappe. And by what everybody is telling me, Zappe is going to be the number 2 quarterback. Even if he's not, the fact that Zappe is even in contentions to be the number 2 quarterback furthermore explains my actual receipts I've been putting out there. Zappe was released by the Browns last year, and they got him back in. Just like Huntley, who's from my great Broward County, Florida, they got rid of him, brought him back in. You know what type of spit to the face of Shedeur Sanders that is? So no wonder Skip Bayless exposed Coach Kevin Stefanski.
He has no use for Shedeur. It's going to take the owner stepping in and saying no to Stefanski. But I'm going to tell you what tears me up about this. They have the 4th easiest schedule remaining. They have what Pro Football Focus ranks the number 1 defense in pro football. This draft class is starting to percolate. Mason Graham with the 5th overall pick. He can play. He's a stud. And then Carson Schwessinger out at UCLA.
Yeah, linebacker. Good player.
He just might be the defensive rookie of the year. And Quinshon Judkins, I'm looking at what he's done in his 3 games. 94 yards, 82 yards, 110 yards. He can tote the rock. Then Harold Fannin Jr., all he does is just get open at tight end. He was their 3rd round pick. So it scares me because Stefanski is going to fight for his life and his job and his draft pick, a 3rd round pick in Dillon. It tears my guts out to watch what's happening to Shedeur with a chance. This is on a silver platter for somebody to take the reins. So I'm not loving this for Shedeur unless Jimmy Haslam just steps in and says, okay, that's enough. We have to give the people what they want. He has no use for.
I agree. Jimmy Haslam had to step in for his business to get Shedeur, but not for football purposes. But he stepped in because Coach Kevin Stefanski, who's really the general manager, not the token Andrew Berry, believe me. But even though you're a GM for the Browns, you have no real power. But Jimmy Haslam forced the front office to draft Shedeur. That's something all NFL insiders knew already. Even though I exposed it pre-early, I'm not going to give you my sources. People love me. No, despite what you guys might think about me, 98% of the people on this platform love me, despite the racist 2% or 1%. And majority of the conglomerate always gave me my respect. Other fellow journalists who are actually established journalists all told me, be more professional because we love what you do. And there you have it. I will force them to listen to me. Now let's get back on track with regularly scheduled programming. It's crazy because we've been told all season long that it's just Dillon, Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders left behind Deshaun Watson. But instead of giving Shedeur that confidence, instead of grooming him to be the next man up, Kevin Stefanski has been playing games. And if you don't believe me about the games, look at the quarterback mess going on with the Cleveland Browns. I mean, let's just show all these guys. This is how much quarterbacks they had already in one season alone. There are multiple NFL teams who haven't had this much quarterbacks in the last 5-6 years, and they had this much quarterback in the last 2 to 3 months. And if we're being real, leading to the Kenny Pickett trade, in the last 2 months, this is obviously how much quarterbacks they have. And now they have these remaining. Don't fall for it, because whoever made this picture, they don't know about Zappe. They don't watch football. These are the YouTubers you guys are subscribed to. How on God's given earth you put Zappe aside? When they picked up Zappe, I told you guys to pay attention. But you're paying attention more to the Diddy oil. You care more about which brand of oil is Diddy purchasing than you care about things in your own city. And I'm speaking precisely to Ohio residents, because if you like the Bengals, you should be upset too. The fact that they took an aging Joe Flacco and you had Jameis Winston available, you had Shedeur available for the trade, but something tells me Jimmy and the rest did not want to trade Shedeur Sanders, because I'm not about to disparage the Cincinnati community, because who's to say how many teams are inquisitive about acquiring a Shedeur Sanders? That we may never know, but Bruce Arians, one of my all-time favorite coach, He gave those beautiful brothers like Todd Bowles, who didn't return the favor, to Shedeur Sanders, but that's how you step in fetchings do, people. But he gave guys like Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich the opportunity to show that we can do this too. He spoke on Kevin Stefanski, and he had a savage remark for Kevin Stefanski. I loved each and every single moment of that response. Ladies and gentlemen, you're witnessing many professional aficionados. They refuse to put their name on the line and look like ducks for the guy you call Kevin Stefanski or Shedeur Sanders haters. Bruce Arenas refused to go that route. And you seen what he said. He said, I don't know how he kept his job this long. I asked the same question. They're telling me Coach Kevin Stefanski, if Browns get rid of him, he won't have a tough job to get another position. Well, you should be disturbed by that. You should be disturbed. How did his privilege awarded him 2 NFL Coaches of the Year? Not 1, but 2. And he has been abysmal as a coach on his whole lineage and history of coaching the Cleveland Browns. But that doesn't get talked about. It gets dismissed. This is why I'm in favor of Coach Deion Sanders when he exposed the Browns and basically agreed with me where he had to finally say something. Well, he finally said something, and him saying something is much to what I've been saying. The hell with the Browns.
Flacco,
Yeah, I got
to
that text
Cincinnati.
during practice.
I was just wondering what your
don't
reaction
care.
is.
I don't give a damn about the Browns at all. I care about the Colorado Buffaloes. I do love me some Shedeur Sanders, don't believe that. I care about him. The rest of that mess, I don't, okay? I'm a coach trying to win just like they're trying to win games, but I could care less of who they traded.
We don't care about who they traded. We could care less about your organization. But guess who responded to this trade better than his watered-down, fabricated coach? Shedeur Sanders. When his mentor, because they were mentors, I've been showing you clips and videos how Joe Flacco adores Shedeur Sanders. I expect all veterans to be like a Joe Flacco. We can criticize Joe Flacco here and there, but he's the consummate professional. He is a great insurance plan for any NFL organization. So no wonder Shedeur had this to say about Joe Flacco, his mentor, after he found out he got traded.
What did you think about the news today about Joe Flacco getting traded to Cincinnati?
Oh, Joe Flacco getting traded, he was definitely somebody I leaned on for wisdom, and I feel like he helped me a lot. He helped me a lot while my time being here in Cleveland and his time being here in Cleveland. So now, everybody has their own destinies and have their own plans they have in life, so I'm just happy for him.
Have you talked to him yet?
Yeah, I seen him in the facility. Yes.
You see that smile? And by the way, Rex Ryan and even Coach Bruce awareness himself, if I'm being for real, even though he gave Shedeur a little bit props, you know what I mean? But the truth is, Shedeur Sanders is at a dealership right now, and Fox 8 got cameras all in his face. So is that Shedeur's fault too? He's so much of a magnifying piece. All you media pundits, all you journalists who are seeing racial apathies towards him and racial things and hater rage towards him, and all you ESPN watered down civilians or whatever, why don't you call out the media people who are keeping Shedeur relevant, who are forcing cameras in his face? He didn't call them up like it's TMZ, 1-800-BS Awards. I need you to put your cameras in my face. That's not the case here. So let's just be more honest about what's really going on. Kevin Stefanski is refusing to even name Shedeur Sanders as the official number 2 quarterback. It tells you what you need. Even though there's nobody left on the roster, well, according to them, we know there's Zappe and Watson. But listen, that's not football politics. That's pure ego. Stefanski wants to prove the media and to Deion Sanders that he runs the show. Even if it means stunting the growth of Shedeur Sanders, he'll stunt his growth for sure. And listen to me, guys. And what's worse, reports are already saying when Deshaun Watson returns, Stefanski might go with Bailey Zappe. This is a factual rumor that's not much of a rumor. We know in the progressions of the practice squad, Zappe already had a chance to play with the second and third strings and practice squad players. Meanwhile, Shedeur couldn't find players, according to the coaches, like Tommy Reeves and Billy Musgrave. He was watered down to throw into the equipment manager at one point. That's embarrassing for a conglomerate such as the NFL. Let's just be honest about it. But Bailey Zappe could be the number 2 quarterback over Shedeur Sanders. Let that sink in. A quarterback who just got there could leapfrog the guy who's supposedly been learning their systems for months. A quarterback like Bailey Zappe who got released by the Cleveland Browns. So your trash is even better than Shedeur Sanders. That's what you're telling us. So listen to me, guys. That's why I've been saying this for weeks and months. Coach Kevin Stefanski never wanted Shedeur Sanders. This is the same coach who couldn't even make Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson, or even Joe Flacco look consistent. Hell, he threw his own offensive coordinator who didn't have the rights to call play, which was Ken Dorsey. My Miami Hurricanes, Ken Dorsey. He didn't even allow him to call plays. So what's the purpose of Ken Dorsey being an offensive coordinator if Coach Kevin Stefanski is going to take up play calling? What's the purpose of paying any offensive coordinator such as a Tommy Reeves? You're furthermore telling us these guys don't do anything but clean the jock straps of one Coach Kevin Stefanski. So listen to me. Now Coach Kevin Stefanski is punishing a young quarterback, a young talented quarterback who's done everything right just because of the last name Sanders. Let's just be honest about it. He doesn't even want the pressure that comes from Deion watching from afar. He doesn't want the media attention, but the NFL doesn't work like that anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Fans want to see the new wave, the Shedeur Sanders wave, the next generation, not the same watered down generic Dillon Gabriel types who are nothing more than Alex Smith 2.0, you know, game managers. And they barely could manage the game because look at the Viking games in London. Was that managing a game, or was that a coach scared for his leprechaun quarterback facing actual defense? But Vikings weren't even an actual defense. They're trash. Can you imagine when they played a Pittsburgh Steelers defense this Sunday? Jesus Christ, this Sunday in America. No offense to the London crowd, in America. Whew. But listen to me. But instead, Stefanski's pride is getting in the way of progress. He'd rather make Shedeur earn a backup spot on a losing team than actually giving him a fair shot to shine. So let's conclude this video. Even if Shedeur Sanders is finally named the number 2 quarterback, it's embarrassing that he had to grovel and beg to go through this kind of drama just to get there. The Cleveland Browns are a losing franchise for a reason. They can't develop talent, and their leadership is stuck in the past. Mark my words, this whole situation just proves that Kevin Stefanski is not the coach to lead young quarterbacks. Maybe Bruce Arians needs to be the coach of the Cleveland Browns. He seems to understand that you don't waste a talent like Shedeur Sanders. And listen to me, guys, and Shedeur Sanders deserve way better than this politics and ego trips in Cleveland. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is Stefanski sabotaging Shedeur, or is this just business as usual for the Browns and the NFL? Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and join the IsmokeHiphop live movement, where we keep it real, raw, and respectful. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out. Give me my outro.
I've been broke so many times.